At this time, it is my honor to present to you the incoming president of the Central Florida Facilitators. I have the pleasure to present to you Jonathan Dunn.
I know it's getting late. This is just a small 40-minute keynote to conclude the evening. Thank you all for voting me in. Thank you all for being here. The other evening I was watching Forrest Gump and I was preparing this speech, and I realized Forrest Gump really summed up my Toastmasters experience so far when he said, and I'm not going to imitate Forrest Gump, life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. Fellow Toastmasters, distinguished guests, friends, it was October 2012, and I'll bore you with the I won't bore you with the details. Long day. My life looked like the saddest country music song you could ever imagine. Didn't know who I was. Didn't know what I stood for. Had no clue at this juncture in my life what my purpose was. I had heard this statement several times, that when things seem to be falling apart the most, if we can just step back, kind of observe from the outside in, that we will actually see that they are falling together. And as fate would have it, I found myself having a telephone conversation with Stephen Morgan. And I had some major walls up. He doesn't know it because he did a fine job building a bridge through a very warm invitation to come to a facilitators meeting. It was in that very little moment that in my life a miracle was taking place. Because when I came to the meeting that night, wasn't what I thought I was looking for, but it was exactly what I was looking for. I found a very safe place. I found a very fun place. I recognized the massive amount of experience that was within that room. And I thought, wow, with all of this experience in this room, an organization that's been around for 100 years, I said, I have my talisman right here to navigate through some incredibly muddy waters. When I think back on my Toastmasters experience, I think of the book Time and Time Again, Tuesdays with Morrie. And for those of you who aren't familiar with that book, I would suggest that you get familiar with it. Because it is a book about a conversation between a teacher who was slowly losing his struggle against cancer and author Mitch Albom, who was one of his former students. And towards the end of his life, Morrie proclaims, I wish I hadn't spent so much time chasing things. I wished I had spent time chasing relationships. Because he who has the most relationships at the end of their life, they win. Coming to Central Florida Facilitators, I more than quadrupled my friend total in a matter of a week. A lot of these friends comprise our current executive committee. And I first want to talk about Charlie Bonvalier, our incoming Sergeant-at-Arms. To really sum Charlie up, that man was on the end of many a depressing phone conversation. And he would absolutely give you the shirt off of his back. The dynamic duo of the Morgans. They don't even have a clue the impact they've had on my life. The stuff that Stephen does to me, it defies the laws of physics. I don't comprehend how there's enough hours in the day to do what that man does and maintain a smile on his face, as I know he's had his own struggles. Week in and week out, I came into that meeting, and Susan, every week, how are you doing, honey? That's what she was most concerned about. It wasn't the speeches, it wasn't any of that. It was me as a human being, and she was championing me to help me find myself again. Pat Stogner, I challenge any of you to have your worst day where you're at that fork in the road, and to spend 5 minutes with her and not come out of that room with a giant smile on your face. Mickey D. I don't know how she does it either. The amount of sacrifice she puts in, it's inspired me to whole new levels I never thought about. What she does is just mind-blowing. And every week, once again, words of encouragement. One of my favorite words is Genshai, where you never talk in a manner to someone that will make them feel small. She personifies that word. I don't know Ed Clark all that well yet, but I can see that he is going to fit in to this crazy zoo of characters perfectly well. He's going to be an awesome slice of a new cake. And I love the fact that he is a wizard with numbers. I want to also recognize some other trailblazers that are in the room, because there's not a chance I would be standing up here without them. Jessica Guthrie, co-founder of the club, has given me some amazing coaching, made me believe in myself again. There was one night where you said, and I was extremely low that night, "You're the real deal." It was exactly what I needed to hear that night. Tony Giddles, who, she had some really tough conversations with me. And yet, I feel incredibly blessed. And Julian Cotto is not here this evening. If we could all just take a few seconds and just do a little silent prayer for Julian. It's unfortunate he can't be here tonight. He is a great, great man. And he's really what every speaker should be. When I had been to a few meetings, I said, there is so much inherent good in this room. If we will just put both feet in the door, it is impossible for us to fail. Every one of the people that I mentioned earlier, they understood and grasped this completely well. Facilitators was not put in place to be our master. It was put in place to be our servant, helping us to go to levels we never thought about. And I pledge to maintain that. When I decided to run for president, I prayed and I prayed and I prayed about it. It allowed me to fall together. So one night when I prayed, I had a dream. The dream was kind of weird, I have to admit. There was lots of doves flying around, there was sunlight, there was beach. All the members were dressed in white. And I said, I guess that's a sign that I should run for presidency, but I don't really think I can share that dream as my campaign motto. We might call it Central Florida Facilitators Cult. But then I laughed, because of facilitators, I was able to find my sense of humor again and learn to laugh all over. And I thought, that's the ticket. In 6 months from now, when I'm standing up here giving the outgoing president's speech, I am envisioning a club where everybody feels safe, everybody has fun, and everybody can take that same line from Tuesdays with Maury. That I came here looking to communicate better, and like Charlie Bombalier, I have found some friends that are going to be with me throughout my entire life. And he who has the most relationships wins. In doing that, while we all share that same destination of self-actualization. And when I laughed, it came to me. That's my campaign motto. We're going to do it, and we're going to have some fun. The F standing for fun. Laughter, I found, is incredibly healing. In U, it stands for understanding. Understanding the needs of each individual member. Taking time to understand the needs of the guests that come in. And really restoring that personal touch that so many of us have lost with the advent of the smartphone. If we champion each individual member to self-actualize, this club will continue to have its golden years. In 10 years from now, there will be at least double the amount of people in this room, although I think the capacity said 98. N, it's what you guys did for me, because I was a pain in the butt. Never gave up on me. And we can never give up on our members. because there's not a person in this room where we will ever fully comprehend their individual struggles that they're going through. And if we do that, every little victory that that person has, it is going to be an amazing victory for the Central Florida facilitators. In this dream, took some awesome ingredients: fun, cooperation, teamwork, the crazy cast of characters, and all the individual personalities that are in this. And we all fall together. And every week we come in there and we go all in. We unleash it week after week in the facilitators. Not only will the facilitators be President's Distinguished, but even more importantly than that, we can take these lessons out into the real world and we can make a dent in the universe. And like Scott left me better off for hearing his speech tonight, we can do something crazy. We can leave this world better off. And that would be awesome. God bless the facilitators, and God bless us all. Now for a little pop culture reference. Linda Earls, it's time to show us the money and have a last call for the 50-50.